Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Authentic Entrepreneurs Podcast. And tonight I'm here with my special friend, Elvira Hopper. And we're going to be discussing from hustle to heaven on earth, becoming the entrepreneur you were born to be. Welcome, Elvira.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. You're amazing.
Aw, thank you. So tell me your story, how you got started.
Mm. So, how I got started as an entrepreneur, Michelle, was really survival. I could not go back to my career that I had a breakdown from. So, I had a
Mhm.
corporate meltdown, breakdown, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
My last 2 years of corporate were, is it okay if I swear on your podcast?
It's okay. This is anything.
Okay.
Anything goes.
Okay. So it was a total shit show. My last 2 years of corporate were a total shit show. And yet they were absolutely perfect because those years were what allowed me to really realize that that's not what I was meant to do anymore. So I wasn't meant to be a drug rep. I worked for 20 years in big pharma. I was
Mhm.
this multi-award winning drug rep, winning the awards, driving the company car. Like ego ran my show, right? Like I
Right.
lived totally from ego back then. And so my breakdown led to a breakthrough, and that breakthrough allowed me to basically separate from my ego in the
Mhm.
sense that I could see my ego, I was aware of my ego, it no longer ran the show. And that allowed me to become a miracle magnet, which is who I am today. I'm literally the happiest person I know. My life is a dream. Like everything
Yes,
is
you
absolutely
are.
yeah, aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed is who I am. So are you curious to know how I got into the well, I mean, there's so many pieces to the story, but the one that the thing that got me
Uh-huh.
out is what saved my life. It's a unique modality that I was
Okay.
told to share with the world, and now I have a
Yes.
growing global team of facilitators of it. And not only are they using that to help people, and I bring them clients because that's what I do,
Hmm.
but also they put their own modalities on my platform, which is really cool. And this is where I want to
Awesome.
share with any authentic entrepreneurs that, if you have a story that happened for you, not to you, because you were meant to help others, right? Like
Hmm.
anybody who's an author in a book, for example, who is who is part of a compilation, for example. I know you've done more than one of those books yourself, right?
Yes,
I've
I
done one
have.
myself.
I won back to
Yeah.
back best-selling author 2 years in a row.
Yay! Yay, congrats.
Thank
Yeah, so
you.
Michelle, you know better than me that stories save lives, right?
Yes,
Stories become
definitely.
medicine for others, right? So this is what I've done is I've taken my medicine, turned it into a modality. Well, I didn't even turn it into a modality. Two amazing women that were saved by my modality said when COVID hit, they said, Elvira, we don't know when we're going to work again. Your modality saved our lives. We're going to create a 6 month program so that people can truly take your teachings and
Hmm.
tools that I put online because I created a course to explain it. Because I was doing it one on one for so many years, and someone said, you've got to create a course so that people can, learn it and you don't have to keep repeating yourself, right? So they did
Hmm.
that course that I created. But then they took the pieces, how they describe it, really cute. They said, Elvira, we picked up the pearls that you dropped and we strung them together with our own spacer beads, and they made the program even better. Like they basically, like things that I didn't address, like somatics and well, actually, I'm not sure somatics is in there, but like meditation. There's pieces that they added. Breath work, that kind of thing. So they added pieces to my modality, and they made it even more robust and more complete. And now virtually every person that goes through our 6 month program called the Love Your Vibe Transformation wants to become a miracle mindset mentor.
It's
And we teach them how to
amazing.
be world-class facilitators. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And the cool thing is that I believe, Michelle, that as entrepreneurs, if we're only
Mhm.
doing one thing, we are sitting ducks. I always say one
Very
trick
true.
ponies are sitting ducks. Yeah. So you can't have your eggs all in one basket, like
Mhm.
you need to have a few things going on. Most of my people, they're artists, they're healers, they're authors, they're inspirational leaders, right? And they don't do one thing, right? And this is essentially, what the Multiki Guy movement is about. I'm the founder of the Multiki Guy movement, which states all modalities matter, right? No, sorry, that's the Miracle Magnet movement. All modalities matter. The Multi-Ikigai movement states, why be one thing when you can be all things, right? Why
Tell us
not do
about
all the things?
the Multiki guide. Explain that
Yes.
for us.
Yeah. So the Multi-Ikigai movement is for entrepreneurs, especially
Hmm.
who do more than one thing. And sometimes they get shamed for that, right? It's like,
Hmm.
like what I love your mug, be our guest. They get shamed for that because they're like, they're told pick a lane and stick with it. Well, you know
Oh,
what? My people tend to be mostly neurodivergent, okay?
mhm.
They have a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of ways of making
That's
money
me.
and yeah, it's you, right? Yeah, you're my people, I believe. And if they were only doing one thing, they'd be so freaking bored. Like if I only did one thing, I would be so freaking bored. Like I'm a coach, I'm an international speaker. I'm a late blooming jazz artist turned sound healer. I'm a jewelry designer. I have about 7 other healing modalities. I lead the Love Your Vibe transformation, personal evolution solutions for heart-centered humans. I also lead another team that's helping the 1% get conscious. That's the conscious leader movement. So I just want to start from the bottom. I have 3 movements that I lead, and the first one is the Miracle Magnet movement,
Hmm.
which states all modalities matter. My modality is great. It saved my life. They basically have a program that facilitates this work, but they have modalities too. And so that we're putting all their modalities on my platform, my powerful platform, so that more people can access their magic, their story, their message, their magic gives others still struggling hits, as I like to say.
Right.
Hope, inspiration, and tools. Hits hope, inspiration, and tools. So that's what happens when we tell our stories, right? And if we have a modality that goes along with it, great, right? And so they can house that on my platform. That's the Miracle Magnet movement. And then the Multiki Guy movement is the second layer. So that's because I do more than one thing, right? As I said, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a healer, all those
Right.
things. Because I realized this past summer, Michelle, is that the term the are you familiar with the Japanese term ikigai? Are you familiar with
Yes,
that
I
term?
am.
Yeah. Okay. So for your viewers, viewers, your listeners, I want to explain what it is really quick. The ikigai is the intersection of what you love, what you're great at,
Hmm.
what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. The center of that is your sweet spot. That's your ikigai. And they say that you need to have an ikigai. Well, I realized that my people, neurodivergent, multi passionate, multi talented, we don't have just one ikigai. We got tons of ikigais. Like I
Yeah.
have about 7, and I think I've got more coming, right? So this idea that we get to be all the things, right? And when we do all the things that we love, maybe not all at the same time, well, I think there's more safety in that because it's like they recommend in finances, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So if you
Yes.
have multiple ikigais, like maybe you're working on a book, but then maybe you're going to work on your coaching program. Well, then maybe you can do something artistically. Well, maybe you want to learn to heal because there's a healer in you, right? And maybe you want to, yeah, anyway, we could go on and on. And you get to do all those things and do not feel shame around it, right? Because I want to take the shame around being a neurodivergent, multi passionate, multi talented soul because it's what allowed me to step up to my next level because I realized, oh my God, for years I was always kind of shy of, well, I do this and I do that and I do that. No, that's who I am. And I'm going to stand proud and own it. And I want all heart centered, authentic entrepreneurs to own it. Be authentic. You're not one thing. You get to be all the things that light you the fuck up. I have this one
Yes.
little piece of content that is do what's in your JPG zone and outsource the rest. Okay. What does that mean? JPG, joy, passion, and genius. When you do only what's in your JPG zone and you outsource the rest as an entrepreneur, guess what? You get to rise in vibration. You get to be what I call a miracle magnet. You get to stop being a crap magnet and you start being a miracle magnet because you're only doing what lights you the fuck up, what you were brought here to do, right? And for
Yes.
me, I lived out of alignment all those years as a big pharma rep. It's not who I was. And I was in this box because I was told to be in that box,
Uh-huh.
right? And how much time do we have? Because I don't know if I have time to tell you the whole story, but how much time do we have?
We have about 20 minutes left. So,
Okay, okay. So I can tell you the story. Okay,
oh,
great.
definitely.
So Michelle, the story is really powerful, I believe, because it gives people permission to be themselves
Mhm.
fully, right? Becoming me fully at 51, having a breakdown in my late 40s and then
Mhm.
having this spiritual breakthrough where I started living as my higher self, not my ego self. That's what allowed me to manifest all my dreams to me, including becoming a professional jazz artist at 51. I am now on
Yes.
world-class jazz stages. I am wowing people like Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. It's all on YouTube. If you Google
Yes.
Stedman Graham, Elvira Hopper, you'll see me singing to him. It's quite wild. But the point is that, when we're able to become fully ourselves, when we stop hiding, when we stop pretending that we aren't all the juicy things that we are, and we stay in that box for other people's comfort, right? Like that when we're able to break out of that and just be ourselves authentically, then that's when we become miracle magnets. That's when our life takes off. Like I've had so many miracles find me recently because I've up leveled to a new level. And
Yes.
I honestly, I've been invited into rooms like Richard Branson's Necker Island. I've been invited to Elton John's post-Oscar party. Like all these incredible things are happening. I was invited to this royal ball at the Palais de Versailles just outside Paris. Like what the hell, right? But I talk about miracles happen when you're in alignment, when you're living aligned, authentic, fully self expressed. You're not one thing, you're all the things, right? That light you up, that you're great at. Outsource the things that you're not great at. Like my husband, I manifested him losing his corporate job because he had to help me run my business on the back
Uh,
end. He does all the things that I hate doing in my business that I have to do, right? And I
right.
shouldn't be doing them. I should just be living in my JPG, right? And this is for
Yes.
all of us. Invitation to get people to do the things because there's people that love doing that thing that you hate. It's actually in their
That is
JPG, right?
true.
So it is. It absolutely is. We can't do everything as entrepreneurs,
No,
right?
we
So,
can't.
so, so my story. Here's my story. This is what started off the whole thing. Okay, me living as a crap magnet. I call this story from crap magnet to miracle magnet, from hell on wheels to heaven on earth, right? Because when I had my breakdown and my breakthrough, everything got better. My mental health got better. No more depression, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar. My marriage went from hell on wheels to heaven on earth. I became a jazz artist at 51. I'm now leading these 3 global movements. Like none of it is work. It's just in alignment with who I am. It's
Mhm.
for me to do, right? We all have our unique missions. Nobody is here by accident, right?
Right.
But as a little kid, I'm at this jazz show, okay? My dad worked in the restaurant downstairs. This show was going on upstairs, and I was this fat little Italian kid because we immigrated to Italy from Canada when I was 5. And I was a skinny little kid, but by the time I got to 11, I was rather rotund. Why? Because I was the sensitive artistic child. I was always an artist, right? And yet my parents, when they argued and they fought because there was so much trauma from immigrating to Canada from Italy.
Right.
They weren't happy at first. And so because they fought, they bickered, what did I do? I ate my emotions. That's what I did. I basically got, that was my crutch, right? Eating my emotions, right? A lot of emotional eaters, I'm sure you can relate to it. And I also created jewelry, right? This is what I do now, right? I would bead, right? Because beading would just take me out of my head and my thoughts and just into my happy place, right? So anyway, so this is who I was. I was a little kid. I was very artistic, very sensitive, and quite rotund at this point. And my dad takes me to this jazz show. Okay, he worked in the restaurant downstairs. This show's going on upstairs. And why was I there? Because it wasn't a show for kids, Michelle. Like this was a sexy show. There was women scantily clad on the stage, dancing and singing, and just very, very sexy. And did I insist on going to see this show because my mother said you were singing and dancing before you could walk and talk? Was I there because I insisted on going? Or was it because my dad was babysitting me that night and he stuck me there for the night? I don't know. But I was the only kid in the audience. I'll never forget this. So I'm watching these goddesses up on stage. And I'm like, oh my God, look at them. They're so beautiful. They're so talented. And this is what I had inside me too, right? Because I was an entertainer. I was a performer. Didn't know it because I was really a pain in the ass kid bouncing around all over the place most times, right? But basically, my after the show's over, my dad comes and he picks me up and he sees the stars in my eyes, and he goes, Elvira, would you like to meet them backstage? And I was like, I get to meet them? And I felt like I was going to meet the queens of the world, Michelle.
Mhm.
So my dad brings me backstage and he says, ladies, this is my daughter, Elvira. And they look at me, they look at my dad. They said, Joe, this is your daughter. She's so beautiful. And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful? I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful for telling me that I'm beautiful. And Michelle, I felt seen for the first time in my life. I felt like these women got me. I was just a few years behind them because they were probably in their 20s and 30s. I was 11. Okay. So
Okay.
I walked away with my dad and I knew absolutely what I wanted to do when I grew up because I felt so good being witnessed by them, being seen by them, right? So I walked away with my dad who could sing like Pavarotti, okay? My dad who was told good men are not on stages. Good men are good husbands and fathers and providers. So my father never got the nurturing that he needed to become aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed, okay?
Right.
Sadly, he died 13 years ago
Mhm.
with his real music still in him, Michelle. He died with
Oh,
two types of cancer,
my
mental health struggles,
goodness.
on meds, and a marriage in shambles. He paid the ultimate price for living out of alignment, for not doing his mission in this lifetime, for not being the artist he was brought here to be, because our body keeps score. Okay, our body keeps score, and we'll either get sick mentally, or emotionally, or physically, or spiritually, or relationally. Okay, this is the universe telling us we're out of alignment when these things happen, right? So
Right.
that's what happened to my dad. But at that time he hadn't had his breakdown yet, and he had a breakdown just like I did, because he was living out of alignment. He got bullied just like I did.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled in dark places. And anyways, I'll talk about that in a second. But my father didn't know what else to say to me at this point when I said to him, Daddy, I want to be one of those women when I grow up. Well, you know what my dad said to me, Michelle?
Yeah.
Elvira, you can't be one of those women because
Oh,
those women are sluts. I wasn't
yeah.
allowed to be me anymore, right? That was the trauma that happened at 11 years old when I said to myself, okay, Daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me? And that's when I became the people pleasing imposter, crap magnet who gave away my power. And I did what my dad wanted me to do, right? He wanted me to be a good little Italian Catholic girl, get good grades, get a good career, get a good husband, and give him some grandchildren. Well, guess what? I did all of that and I nearly died at rock bottom. I chose not one, but two solid healthcare careers because he wanted me to be a doctor.
Uh-huh.
Well, I felt like an imposter every single day of those two careers, spanning 27 years. I felt like somebody was going to tap me on the shoulder and go, get the hell out. You don't know what you're doing. Because I truly was a fish out of water living
Mhm.
that way. But I didn't see any alternative, Michelle. That was the
Right.
only thing I could do, right? And so my dad had a nervous breakdown because he was bullied at work in his 50s, and he had to go on a very strong drug called lorazepam. And
Oh, I know.
so he
Yes.
was yeah, he was a shell of himself when he started going on this drug, but it's what got him to sleep at night. He had to take two lorazepam.
Hmm.
Very strong drug, not good for the liver. I was a drug rep. I knew what drugs did to our body. His liver was
Right.
massive when he died 13 years ago.
Oh,
So he had nervous breakdown because he got bullied at work and he couldn't deal. So he had
right.
depression, he had anxiety, he had panic attacks, right? Just like I did. So
Hmm.
then, so that happened. And then when I hit my rock bottom, my last 2 years of corporate were a total shit show because I'm being bullied corporately. I'm attracting another bully socially. I go to a dark place mentally. And yet I knew that it wasn't going to be drugs that was going to get me out of my darkness for 2 solid years, right? And no disrespect to anybody that takes drugs for their mental health.
Right.
It just wasn't going to be an option for me because I was a drug rep. I saw what they did to my dad. I studied them enough to know what they do to your body. I didn't want to be dependent on any drug. I didn't want to be dependent on Western medicine. So when I hit my rock bottom,
Mm-hmm.
I literally said to my higher power, give me a way out of this hell. Because at that point, I was 2 years with solid panic attacks, bipolar, depression, anxiety. I smiled on the outside and I just
But
kept
in the
going. Nobody knew
inside,
I was struggling, right? I was dying on the inside. And so at my rock bottom, I said to my higher power, God, give me a way out. That's not drugs. That's not therapy. I'd done therapy to get over my mommy issues when I was a new mom,
hmm
and therapy worked. It took 2 years and it was very expensive, right? So I
right?
knew I didn't want to go back to that, right? So not drugs, not therapy. I thought my one and only child was better off without me in his life as his mother at that time. I
hmm
literally thought my husband could do a better job than having me there. It was awful how my mindset was so shot at that point. And so my son is 31 now, doing very well. Thank you very much. But at that time, like I truly thought he didn't need me in his life. But just to give you a snapshot of what it was like for
Right.
me.
hmm
So it couldn't be drugs. It couldn't be therapy. It couldn't be, I done Tony Robbins teachings. They helped me when I went from the lab into big pharma. They worked until they didn't. I did this
Right.
other program called Landmark Education. I did three programs with Landmark. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but the program globally, and it worked until it didn't. Right? I had been Catholic my whole life. God is out there. I'm a lowly sinner. I just have to repent and go to confession.
Yes.
That was kind of a band-aid solution when I would go through dark times, right? Because the
hmm
church was there. Well, guess what? When I hit rock bottom, Tony's teachings didn't help me. Landmark didn't help me. The church didn't help me. I
Right.
knew I didn't want to go back to therapy. I knew it wasn't going to be drugs. So I asked for another way out. I needed it to be holistic. I needed it to be fast and natural. Otherwise, I wanted a way of killing myself. Well, guess what, Michelle? I'm
What?
still here. I
Yes, you
got the
are.
way, right? I wasn't meant to just survive, though. I
hmm
was meant to go on and thrive and show people how they can do it too.
Yes.
So that's what I do today, one on one with clients. And I have a team of people that facilitate this work in small groups. So that's my story. I've got a lot of other programs. I have retreats, I have workshops, I have memberships. I have so many beautiful things going on in my life. So I'm just here to help heart-centered humans to love their vibe so they can be miracle magnets. And when that happens, we are going to reveal, in my opinion, heaven on earth when enough of us
Yes.
have learned to be miracle magnets. So I'm a stand for that. And at the top level of my business, my husband and I, who nearly split 3 different times, because when I was living out of alignment, ego was running my show. I nearly killed our marriage 3 different times. We were meant to survive. Why? Because my husband, he builds and runs hotels. And we are co-creating a series of 11 global retreat centers to serve the 1%, to
Crazy.
help leaders become conscious at this level. And when we do that, they're going to lock arms with us and we are going to resolve global issues together because they're the ones that have the power, the fame, the money, the connections in order to transform things on the planet. So I've got these beautiful 3 levels of my business and their movements, and I don't work a day in my life. And I honestly believe this is possible for anybody who is heart centered and has been to a dark place. They know they're here to help others. And I invite anyone to reach out and have a chat with me. I hope you can put my link tree in the show
Oh,
notes so people
definitely.
can set up a chat. But that's my story. That is my story. You asked, you got
I
it.
love it. What advice would you give to someone who's going through the same
Oh,
situation you are now
yeah. Yeah.
and wants to work
Well,
on themselves, but they don't want to do it through medicine or
yes.
things like
Oh,
that?
me too. Me too. Well, I'm actually, this is one of my projects. I'm actually producing a movie to
Are
show
you?
humanity that we don't have to go Western medicine first. We have so many holistic solutions, SOUL, of which mine is one. And
Mhm.
there's many others. And so, oh, I'm getting so many chills. So we're creating a movie that's going to educate the world. It's going to be kind of like The Secret movie. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where we're going to shift things on the planet. So we're going to show that there's so many people that can heal through natural, holistic ways before having to go to pills, right? For me, pills were not the answer. I saw what they did to my dad. I was a drug rep. I had to go through that life to go to a dark place, but then be able to show that you can come out of it, right? And when I came out of it, becoming a pro jazz artist, that I even won, like, best band in my city twice in the last 3 years. Crazy things happen, wowing Stedman Graham, right? Like things like that. But to me, it's just an indication that I'm in alignment with my higher self, doing what I was brought here to do. And the universe likes to tap people on the shoulder that are in alignment and saying, hey, you're in alignment. Here's this award. Just keep going. Right. So that's what I believe. I'm not here to brag. I'm here to just show people what's possible for them. Right. So,
Yes.
so what I would say to somebody who's in a dark place right now and wants to work on themselves is find the right mentors, find the right coaches, interview people, find out if they have a story that's similar to yours and that they can relate to you. They won't judge you. They'll just love on you and show you what's possible for you. Those are the people that can help you, because we don't need to do it alone, Michelle.
Right.
I
We
did it
don't.
alone for too many years and I had a breakdown. But it's exactly what was meant to happen, because I was meant to get the system that saved my life at rock bottom that I'm now sharing with the world. And I'm super grateful I went through those 20 years in big pharma, Michelle, because why? Because I basically got an informal MBA from that career. So
Right.
I'm able to be the person that brings my team clients, because I'm the branding, sales, marketing machine for my business, right? It's a powerful platform. We're shifting over to Go High Level right now, which is going to make it even more powerful so that more people can find my team. Because I believe that if light leaders like us are working day jobs, we don't get their magic. And that's going to be tragic. So I want to give them a platform where they can make really good money, very part-time, so that we get all of their magic. We get their art, we get their healing, we get their books, we get their inspirational leadership, right? Speakers on stage telling their stories, writing their
Yes.
stories in books, right? This is what is going to help humanity to evolve. And I'm simply a clearinghouse of gathering us together so that we can create abundance, right? Like if there's authors that are struggling, please send them to me, because I can give them
Definitely.
a platform where they can truly teach people to love their vibe as they do that work themselves. And
Mhm.
then we can all thrive in heaven on earth, because we've all
Yes.
done this inner work, right? Yeah. I can
Definitely.
talk forever on this. Oh my God. Shut me up. Try to shut me up.
Would you be so honored to do a little jazz for me tonight?
Oh my God, I would totally be honored. Okay, so let me make sure that, original sound from music. Okay, hopefully you can hear me sing. Okay, so this is a little song that I don't write, well, I wrote one song, I co-wrote it, but I write jingles, right? Because
Yes.
jingles are little sticky things that people remember in their heads, right? So I have a few of them. So I think I'm going to do two of them for you today. Is that okay?
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, okay. So here's the first one, all right? The first one goes like this. A one, a two, a one, two, three. Get out of your own effing way. Your miracle life awaits. Yeah. So effing stands for fear and ego. So when we're able to separate from our ego and integrate it in a healthy way, it's no longer running the show. Our higher self is running the show, and that's when you can become a miracle magnet. So that's what getting out of your own effing way looks like. Be a miracle magnet. Your miracle life awaits, okay? And then the second one I'm going to do for you is basically teaching you that it's never too late. You're never too old. If something is in you, it's in you for a reason. I was a jazz artist when I was 11, but I wasn't allowed to pursue it, right? If my dad had said, sure, Elvira, you want to be one of those ladies on stages? Yes, you will get you into singing and dancing and acting classes, and you can be one of those women. Well, guess what? If he had said that, maybe I'd be in Broadway, maybe I'd be in Hollywood, or maybe I'd be starving. I don't know. My
Oh,
story wasn't meant to go that way. I
right.
was meant to go through the breakdown and the breakthrough and get it later in life, right? I'm going to be 64 this year. I feel like my life is just taking off now. But at 51, becoming a jazz artist, I'm here to say you can do it too. So here's a little jingle, all right? Here's a jingle for you.
Awesome.
Again, okay. A one, a two, a one, two, three. It's never too late, and you're never too old to be happy, healthy, and wealthy and bold. You've got to be a miracle magnet. Be a miracle magnet. Do those things that you were brought here to do, and be a miracle magnet. True. Boop, boop, be do. Yeah.
That
Those
was
are my cheesy jingles.
amazing.
I hope you enjoyed them.
I enjoyed them.
Oh, thank you so much for letting me share those. That's
Oh,
wonderful.
I love it. But
Oh,
I want to
thank you,
thank you
Michelle.
for being here today. I enjoyed it. And I will be doing your podcast next week or your
Yes, I'm
IG
excited to bring you
channel.
on.
So I'm
Yes,
excited. And do
can't
you
wait to
have
hear your
any,
story.
I know,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
last takeaway for the audience before we
Oh my
end?
goodness. Yeah, one last takeaway. I'm just going to say if you're stuck in a dark place right now or your business isn't going the way you want it to,
Mhm.
reach out. You can ask for support. You're not meant
Yes.
to go this alone. Get the right support you need, be it community, be it a mentor, be it a coach, be it some other program that resonates with you. I have a membership that can support as well that I'm doing with a world-class, celebrity stylist from New York City so that we can get more comfortable to be more seen in the world so we can serve with our mission, right? It's called The Collective by Thriving Your Mission. And
Mm,
that's the kind of support that is available to you if you just look for it, right? So
right.
I do cool things, I'm sure you do cool things. There's other amazing people doing cool things out there. So move towards the people that resonate with you, that really speak to your heart and soul. That's my recommendation.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight.
Yay.
And I will see you on the next Authentic Entrepreneurs.